Yep, so we're actually in the same room to review some portfolios.
This is episode 4 of this series. Remember that if you want to check out all of the episodes, there will be a playlist in the video description.
In this video, we're going to be looking at 5 incredible portfolios that you can use as a good source of inspiration.
And we want to thank the team at Issue for sponsoring this video. Issue is the industry standard website to host and share your portfolio online.
Yeah, we appreciate the support. More on it in a second, but first let's dive into the portfolios. Okay, so the first portfolio is from Gonzàlez Cardona, and this is an amazing portfolio, really good source of inspiration. You're going to see that it's incredible from start to finish. It really has a balance between line drawings, written text, and a lot of collages, really well put together collages.
So as you can notice, there are very few renderings here, but the portfolio is not worse because of it, or it's not lacking more renders. In fact, on the contrary, she brings so much personality with these collages, and she adds a lot of depth to it. So it just goes to say that you don't have to include renderings in your portfolio.
And then when it comes to text layout and overall size and positioning, she's also got that under control for sure, as you can see. It is, however, concentrated at the beginning of every project opening, as you can see, but she's managed to synthesize enough, and those are manageable pieces of information. Maybe I would like to see this in every other page, a little bit of text, so that you can break that down even more. And to wrap this amazing portfolio, I found that it was so interesting that her collages are powerful, as to the point that you can relate to the very first line of this project, for example, so that you can connect both just by a glance. And also this happens throughout her whole portfolio.
Overall, we were really impressed with this portfolio. The use of white space here was just incredible. And thank you, Mod, for sending in your portfolio. Let's check in the other one.
Yep.
Okay, so let's check in our next portfolio, which was by Joonas Castrén, or Joonas Castrén. But Joonas, we really liked your portfolio. What we really most liked was the cover. It's a very strong cover. You know, when you see it in a sea of portfolios, you need a cover that stands out because it's different, because it has color, or in this case, because it has a maquette, a picture of a physical maquette.
And it's very personal. And right off the bat, we opened this portfolio, and both of us just wanted to pick as one of the selected ones for you guys, because this is the best cover I've seen in this selection of portfolios that we made this time. Now, we always suggest that you always start with your strongest project, right? And this also applies to the strongest drawing, you know? As you can see, this is a little bit different from the usual project opening that you have. It goes right into content itself. Sometimes people use templates, you know, like project opening template, and then they dive into the actual information. This is different, but it's so well done, and I think it explains the project at a glance. 10 out of 10 for sure for me.
I mean, look at this powerful section. I mean, the balance between the section, the text, how it wraps around the section, and there's just enough white space. So maybe in your section, the sections you have made, maybe they have black space around, or they have a lot of annotations. But remember that you can edit your drawings, you can edit your sections when you import them into your portfolio. So maybe you would have to do a little bit of editing, but the work is worth it, you know. So here, I think this is a very impactful drawing to start, and it tells us a lot about what we're going to see in the next few spreads.
And just as a last comment on the section, notice that it doesn't have a ground section fill, you know, so it doesn't have that weight. And also notice that the text is divided into multiple title, subtitle, body text, and it has hierarchy within the text as well.
And there's a lot of high quality technical drawings. I mean, you can notice that he works very well with line weight and with line patterns. I mean, he can even include drawings like this, which are like section details, which I find are very, very interesting when you see in a portfolio.
And here on the pages 14 and 15, I felt a little bit that this timeline here was out of place. It was distracting a bit from this very interesting, detailed section, zoomed in section. And also, gotta say that sometimes call-out lines don't work as well. For instance, this drawing has very thin lines, and it plays up well with line weight, but in a subtle way. But when you overlay all of these call-out lines the way that he's doing, it may be a bit distracting. So what I usually suggest, and I don't know if you agree with me, Steven, but use numberings or letterings so that you can separate that information from the drawing. Because in a portfolio, sometimes you're not going to dive into that very specific technical information. It's more about the bigger scale, the looking from the outside, and that might work better.
Sometimes call-out lines work in some drawings, and text works in some drawings that adds more personality to it. In this case, it just makes it look much more dense and necessary information, necessary balance. But I get your point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think this numbering could have been done like centered here, so that as if it was completing this void space here, but to the right, so that you'd also maintain the alignment he was looking for. Maybe it could be an option.
I think one good reference that you guys could check out if you want to look at section drawings that are very detailed but are very suited for portfolios is the Graphic Anatomy book by Adelaide Bow-Wow. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Which has a lot of sections with a lot of details, a lot of text, but it just plays very well with the drawing. All right, Joonas, thank you for sending in your portfolio. We had a lot of fun reviewing it, and let's go on to our next portfolio.
Okay, so this is the third portfolio from Nicola, and this is a very interesting portfolio. It starts off as usual, cover, CG, all of that stuff that we're used to, but then you dive in straight into the first project, and once you go through the pages, you're gonna see that the projects get even better, which I know that he probably started with the strongest project, but for me, the second one is just the one that wins it for me, for sure. All of the drawings, images, collages, take a look.
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive. And one of the things that we also notice is how he uses titles in his projects. Sometimes you think titles are maybe the least important part of the project, but here for him, it's really important how he titles his projects and how relevant they are within the portfolio. So sometimes, for example, in this spread, you think that you understand that the title is part of the project, is part of his questioning process throughout the project of how he is investigating it. And it leads you to understand that there's a storytelling process behind it, that there's a journey when you start from the first page to the last page of each project and of the whole portfolio, that he's trying to tell a story, which overall is really important, because it's your story. It's the story of the work you've done throughout many years that you're telling to the viewer.
It feels exactly that, like an extra layer of storytelling that ties everything into a narrative. I don't think it works every time. Not every portfolio should have these subtitles or second layer titles in the pages, but here I think it worked really good.
And one thing I really liked are the concise use of rendering and collages. I really like the sections, like we were talking about sections in the last portfolio. And if you look at this drawing, it looks very technical, but it also has so much detail. It's very rich. For me, this could be one whole spread and it could still work really good,
But the fact that he managed to add other information, like this very interesting rendering / collage with the plan, and it has a very noticeable hierarchy going on, whereas you see the subtitle that we were mentioning, this so incredible section, the plan that's minimal, but it's there, and the image, you don't see it repeating two images in the same spread, so they are not competing. For me,
it doesn't look dense at all. It looks really, really there's a lot of space to breathe.
Again, a portfolio is really a result of your own personal archive of projects and drawings, images, and so on. So yeah, grabbing something like this and trying to implement to your portfolio will not work out, but maybe you can take some of the work that Nicola has done here as an inspiration.
All right, Nicola, thank you for sending in your portfolio. Very concise, very precise drawings. And let's go on to our next one.
Before we continue, we want to thank Issue for sponsoring this video. It's thanks to these types of sponsors that we can create free content for you here on YouTube.
Issue is a digital publishing platform that allows you to share your portfolio online with colleagues, friends, and employees. It's used by everyone, and it's pretty much the industry standard at this point.
You get a single custom link that's easy to share across the web, plus that incredible page flip effect that adds to the whole viewing experience.
And this is a constant question that we get. How do you guys show portfolios in such an interactive way? Well, Issue is the secret ingredient.
Yeah, it is, and it's a robust platform that offers a lot of information in the backend as well.
You get access to analytics so you can see where the viewers are coming from.
You can share your portfolio as a full screen or even embed it in different places. It's as simple as creating your account, dragging in your portfolio, adjusting some of the settings, and then hitting upload.
You can even upload from InDesign itself. Just download the free plugin from Issue's website, install it, and you can then access it from the tab window under extensions.
Additionally, you can even create social media posts inside your account on Issuu. Thanks a lot, Issuu, for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to reviewing portfolios.
Let's go. Okay, so our next portfolio is by Nash from New York City. Nash, thank you for sending in your portfolio. We really enjoyed it. I think the cover was super interesting, right? I mean, it was really just got your attention so fast.
This subtle color combination that's happening, I think it's on point. But you know what sometimes happens is that the person has a really interesting cover and then you don't see that being followed through the portfolio itself. And then you might feel like they got this out of the internet, like some Google Images, Pinterest, place it there and used it as their own, which is not the case here. You can see that this style follows consistently, especially throughout the CV, and all of these, the subtle color combination, I think is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a very creative cover. It's a very creative portfolio. And it also has a very interesting pace. Remember that when you create a portfolio, you're creating a book and people are going to spend, maybe 30 seconds, 5 minutes, an hour. You don't know how long they're going to be there. And the pace is super interesting because it lets the people know like how fast or how slow they have to go through each page, which page is important. And if we scroll very fast through these pages, we can see that we have project openings, we have a content table, we have, spreads that have text and spreads that are only dedicated to images. So paying attention to pace is really important.
Yeah. Now, something that bothered me a bit was just the fact that he used the sidebar title as an only type of title in the project opening. This is a stylistic choice, I guess, like using this, but without the sidebar title, it would work fantastically as it is. What I would add, even with the sidebar or without it, is just an extra, maybe repeat the same title, for example, community roots, just add it on top there so that it creates that weight, so that this is indeed a new project, and indeed we're talking about community roots.
And one final thing that I would add specifically to this kind of spreads is to break this paragraph up maybe in 2 or even 3, so it doesn't look so dense and it's like lighter to read, right?
And I think he could, like, from the efforts, just break it down, maybe the sets, break it another time. It doesn't have to be even, like you can even do like 1/3 to 2/3, something else, or if it matches your specific content, but yeah.
Now, if we take a look at the project openings, they're really interesting because the project openings give an introduction to your project. They show maybe the strongest image or the strongest drawing. It doesn't always have to be a render or a maquette or a specific type, but what it does have, or what I think it should have, is it should have a correlation and it should be understood that that is the strongest image that gives a sense of what you're going to see inside. And I felt that in some cases, this wasn't the case, that there wasn't a strong image in the project opening.
The image itself is interesting, but it lacks a bit of context, I would say. Like maybe if you took, especially with that first one, you took 10 steps back and showed a little bit more foreground, something giving more context, and the building smaller, but on the spotlight for sure. But just adding more info, I think it would fit a little bit better here. And also make sure you have enough quality if you're gonna make it full bleed, because in that scenario, I mean, it doesn't have to be as 300 dpi, crisp, 10,000 pixels wide. It doesn't have to be like that, but it has to have at least enough quality so that when you zoom in, it's not all pixelated. So something to consider. It's not all bad, but just notes to take forward.
And one interesting area that we also have in this portfolio is his professional work, where you can see, extra work that maybe he considered relevant for the viewer, for the employer to see. So I thought, this was really interesting. It had a lot of construction details, a lot of images, like, these spreads are impressive. Maybe it had too much at a certain point.
I mean, it's in the portfolio to show that what you're capable of and your skills. So having 2 really good detailing versus 20, I mean, you're already showing that you have that skill. So why not make them bigger, show that you really understand the technicality behind construction, instead of just dropping 20 drawings that tell the same stuff,
Yeah, just with 4, I mean, I think this spread is perfect for me.
This would be perfect. And I like the fact that you use the highlight with orange. I think it adds a nice touch. It's nice to see. All right, so thank you, Nash, for submitting your portfolio. It was really fantastic to look at your work. Now let's go to the last portfolio.
So our last portfolio is by Anastasiya from Dubai. This was a really good portfolio. What we really wanted to highlight are the drawings and specifically the sections, right? They're amazing.
Absolutely fantastic. The best sections we've seen, has so much depth, contrast between the cut and uncut elements. And this repeats throughout the portfolio. It's not just one project or one specific drawing, but like many sections throughout the portfolio and many scales of section, which is fantastic.
So Anastasiya started with their most important project. It has a lot of details, a lot of plans, but the cool thing is that eventually the projects get even better. There's more variety in drawings. We see it from maquette drawings all the way to renders and collage drawing.
Yeah, I agree with you, and especially like this Iceland community house. As you can see, the project opening that she has throughout the portfolio, and you can even see specifically here, has this image as a sort of full bleed on the left side, and then a little bit of text with the title very well highlighted, and a location map, which you get the context of where this is being designed, and then you dive into all of these amazing drawings and images that she has. Overall, fantastic portfolio. And if that wasn't enough, she finishes off with, again, 2 incredible sections so that you can close this portfolio feeling really good.
You know, if I drew sections that well, I would include them in my cover because it would just make it stand out much more.
Yeah, you're right.
But you know, it has a lot of personality, portfolio. Thank you so much for sending it in.
Anastasiya, congrats on the portfolio. Appreciate it. So this has been a really cool experience, getting together to record content here in New York City. What do you think?
No, it's been incredible, and we've had the chance to review portfolios together from the studio.
It's different than doing it through a call, you know?
Yeah.
And there are possibly new videos coming out. We don't want to spoil anything. If you watched our Instagram stories, you might know what this is about.
And of course, we want to thank Issue for sponsoring this video. It's thanks to sponsors like this that we can keep on creating free videos and free content for you guys.
And of course, thanks to you for watching this video until here. If you want to have a chance of your portfolio being reviewed in the next episode, we're going to leave a link in the video description for you to submit your portfolio.
And if you haven't watched the previous episodes on portfolio reviews, we will leave a link down below, or there will be a little video link right here on top so you can watch it.
See you in the next one.
Bye. How do you guys show the portfolio? I'm almost there. Okay, yeah. This is a constant question that we get. How do you guys show the portfolios in such an interactive way? No, slowly. Okay, right up.
That was good, right?
That was good.
Yeah.